How we getting on anyway? What's the latest? Where are we at with everything?
So we're getting this house on the 5th of March.
5th of March. That's tomorrow. That's today, isn't it?
Oh,
5th of
sorry,
April.
April.
About to say, bloody hell, we better get a move on.
5th of April,
Right.
yeah.
So we got a month.
Yeah, it was meant to be May, but
Yeah.
he got it wrong.
Okay, cool.
So he sent me over an AST,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't need an AST, do we? It'd be a management agreement contract.
Yeah, well, it would be a company let agreement is what we would use.
And do you have one of them in the
Yeah.
module?
Yeah. I'll send it to you in the group chat, but I've got it up
Oh,
on the screen
sorry, I've
now.
not had a chance to
Hopefully,
go through
hopefully
anything.
you can see it on the screen, hopefully.
Oh, is that what it is? Is
Yeah.
that you sharing that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was yours. No, no. Got you.
So this stuff's pretty self-explanatory, just landlord name, address, all that sort of stuff. But this is the section that you might want to change. So this was one of the deals we did last year, and we put a 6 month break clause in there just to cover our back, really. We weren't too sure. It was a new area for us. We weren't
Yeah.
sure how it was going to go. But in hindsight, it's gone pretty well, so we didn't really need that, but just to cover our back. And the landlord was a little bit apprehensive as well, so that's kind of why we put it in for
With
both of
them,
us.
yeah.
But that was a 6 month break clause, so 2 months notice would be given at month six for either party, so us or him. And then we would pay the next 2 months and leave basically at month eight. So
Okay.
you can adjust that if you want. Maybe you want to do it for 12 months and see how it goes. Not really much happens in 6 months. And I think the timing wise, you're probably going to have quite a good summer. So it might be not in your best interest to have a clause for him to get out of it in 6 months' time, just in case, you might decide that he wants to take it back or something if you have a really good summer.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe change that to 12 months
Okay.
if I were you. 12-month break clause. And then how long was you going to agree with him? Did you have a chat with him about that, or was it just going to be a year and see how it goes? Or
To be fair, we didn't. I think it's just like as long as because he just wants absolutely nothing to do with his property
mm,
at all. And
yeah.
the management company that he's been working with, they've just had they've had a permanent student in there.
Mm-hmm.
The management company's been a nightmare, so he just wanted like somebody
Gone.
just take it, and
Yeah.
he's happy to just pay his bills on it,
Yeah.
pay the mortgage and
Get a little bit on top.
he's not even bothered. He were renting it for 1,100
Mm,
and he's just happy to give us it for 1,000. Oh, shiza.
yeah. That's decent.
He just wants no to do with it pretty
Yeah.
much.
He's looking at it
So
like
I
long,
think
long
as long
term.
as he's getting his end of the bargain,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's happy to just yeah. I
Okay,
think he might
cool.
be apprehensive initially because he did message me again and was like, "Oh, are you definitely wanting it, mate?" and stuff like
Mm.
that. 'Cause I think he's worried about his rent,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, of course.
and I said, "Don't worry, I do. It's just that I'm juggling a lot of stuff, and I says
Yeah.
I always have Thursdays
Yeah, yeah, of course.
my day, so I said I'll get everything across to you on Thursday. So I think
Yeah.
he would, like
Yeah. We can get this over to him today. We'll get this over to him today, no problem. It shouldn't take you
yeah,
very long to just change some of this stuff. But yeah, you might want to change that to 12 months in because it sounds like it's going to be a longer term agreement. And numbers wise, it looks like it should be pretty good. So I'd
yeah,
say change that part to 12 months.
okay,
And then see down here, self-explanatory, the rent that you're going to agree, £1,000.
yeah.
Um, have you mentioned a deposit at all to him yet, or
You don't
is
want
that,
one?
he doesn't want one?
No.
Okay, great. So we can scrap that part.
And
Literally,
it's fully furnished.
it's
I mean, the
fantastic.
beds, I mean, to a high standard as well.
Yeah,
So we only need linen,
yeah,
pans, plates,
yeah,
a TV we need, a small TV.
yeah.
But yeah, everything's in there.
So you can just take that part out then about the
Yeah,
deposit. Obviously council tax bills, and that's going to be in your
in
company.
our name. So I've told him about that already. I says, because it's basically the people. Yeah, so he's going to ring up and, to cancel his thingy, and then we'll take over. So we need to
Yeah,
ring up. But I asked him roughly what he's paying.
yeah,
It's all electric, obviously, because it's a flat.
yeah. That's normal
And it's I think he said £150 a
for the
month.
electric and the gas.
No, it's just all
It's
electric.
all electric. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good. So 75 each a month, roughly.
And then oh, I can't remember what he said for council tax.
Well, tenant was probably paying that previously,
Yeah.
but
But he
depending
told me
on
what it was because he used to live in it before anyway, before he had kids
okay,
and that.
okay, cool.
He roughly I just roughly asked him what like the outgoings and stuff was so I could do a quick
Yeah,
workout. But to be fair, they're quite low, Luke.
yeah, that's good. That's good. It's probably going to be somewhere between 130 and 150 a month, maybe something like that. Council tax.
Yeah.
Um, repairs and things like that can pretty much stay the same. It's going to be the same for any landlord's going to be responsible for structural stuff, like we've said before, damp, mold, heating, water systems. So he'll know that he has to do that. Um, smoke alarms, all that stuff's the same. Um, general contribution towards maintenance. So we agreed to cover, I think, 6% of the rent per month for maintenance, which worked out to be £48
Okay.
per month. Um, again, this was to get the deal over the line to like sweeten them up. If your landlord hasn't mentioned that, then I would remove that as well because you don't really need to do that. It sounds like he's already pretty much happy to go with you guys. So
Yeah.
you don't need to use that if you don't need to, really. And I
Yeah.
imagine there's probably some sort of service charge or ground rent, maybe, I don't know, that he pays.
He's paying that.
Yeah, for the whole building to be kept to a decent standard. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry too much about doing minor repairs. But then obviously if your guest does damage something, then that's
that's on
common
him.
sense. You'll have to fix it. Yeah.
Would you just link your Airbnb to Price Labs?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do the pricing off Airbnb.
No, from what I know, I think we link it to price as we have done it just with Airbnb before, but it seems to be from what the feedback everyone else is saying in the group that Price Lab seems to be better.
Yeah.
More, they have more data. It seems to be more specific.
Can you do this with Booking.com as well, or is that different?
I think you can do it at Booking.com as well. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you can. It's not
Okay.
only exclusive to Airbnb. I think you can do it at Booking.com as well.
So when should we go out and get the bits and bobs that we're gonna need?
The fun part, that's all you're dying to do that part, Tash.
But no, is it when it's signed? I just want to make sure I can get everything done.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, you know most about this chap, and you know if he says what he means, then it's pretty much done, isn't it? But I guess I wouldn't go and buy the stuff until the contract's signed personally, just
No,
because.
that's what I mean. So if he signs that contract next
Yeah,
week, say, then
yeah,
we're signed, we can, because obviously, like, we're working as well and we're juggling
yeah, of
here. So even
course.
though it seems like a month isn't really a long time.
Yeah, a month will fly by
On
for
the
sure.
Sunday, gonna go in and clean it, and then the Monday we want it to be available. So
Hmm.
we've got quite a lot to do on that one day.
Course, course. So get him to as soon as he signs, then I would say then start going shopping.
Right, and then the utilities a week after being in.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, because you can always just let them know backdate when you actually moved in a week later.
But where should we do the internet
That would
First.
be the first one to do out of all of those
Would
bills.
you not do that, start doing that like a week before then?
You could do again once he sends the contract back signed, I would say start calling around because sometimes the engineers take 4 weeks to come.
That's what I
So
mean.
you know
Might
if you
take
want
a
to go with
while.
the bigger providers like Virgin, they take a while to turn
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
wait till he signs it, sends it back, and then from then I think it's a case of getting the internet booked in to be fitted and doing some shopping as well. But then you've got to bear in mind where you're going to put all the stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, he's got a cupboard, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really nice cupboard. Can I have that cupboard and put a lock on it?" Like, mate, you're like, mate, do what you fucking want.
Yeah. Is there no tenant in there now then, or a
No,
tenant?
no, there is somebody in their leave on the
Okay, that's all right then. They won't mind.
that weekend or something.
That's
But
all
he's
right.
so chilled, he's crazy. He's like, mate, do what the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You're using people you already know, so they already trust you. So it's easy. So if you click on it, we can quickly have a quick look at some of it. Um, if you scroll down, you'll see the copy that we're using. Uh,
So I thought about maybe just setting one up. I can
yeah,
get
you
one.
should. You should for sure. If you just go back up quickly, just so I can see this one, yeah. Um, so what you're doing is setting up, on your landing page,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to put like a form. I know you said you collected data on Facebook before, haven't you? So you have a
Yeah,
form
so
to
I,
fill
I
out.
generally link it to Zapier and then Google Sheets and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they email and
Yeah. So very similar, but we just have it. We found it was working best for us as like an actual form on our website on our landing page.
say that again, sorry.
So we found it easiest to just have a form like outside of Facebook on our landing page, which we've
Mhm.
screenshotted so you can just copy it.
Okay.
So the ad directs them straight to the landing page, and
Yeah.
then they fill out the form, which gives us the information of their contact number, and then we've got
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a follow-up sequence where we'll WhatsApp them and then try and get on the phone to them and basically try and close them basically.
Yeah.
But it's literally all in there. So information wise, like copy, it's all down there. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see even the pictures that we used and stuff should be attached as well. Um, so yeah,
Oh,
you could even copy that picture if you wanted to and just download it and use it. That was the one that was
yeah.
performing best for us. And the copy that we use is just above this slide, I think. Yeah, this one. So that's the primary text that we're using. And the headline is guaranteed rent every month, even if your property's empty.
Yeah.
And this all looks familiar to you, doesn't it? Like the
Yeah. Yeah.
description, call to
Yeah.
action and stuff. So just copy and paste all of it.
Okay.
And you should be getting like I was getting around a lead a day. So
All right, nice. For 30, what were you spending? 30 quid a week?
yeah, 35 quid is what I found to be optimal. I did drop it down to like
Yeah.
20, 25, and I found I was getting less. So that seems to be, you know what you said about
How
spending a
long for?
grand.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems to be the biting point, doesn't it, of where.
Yeah, you generally when I've done it before for other people as well, for the
Mm,
first sort of like probably like 4 weeks, you need
yeah,
to spend about a grand, and then
yeah,
you'll have different ads, and then you just figure out which ads
yeah.
perform best,
Yeah, so that's
and
what I
then
did for a few weeks, and this
yeah.
this one seemed to be the best performing one. So I've just basically put all the
Have
info.
you just kept it quite local to the area that you're working in then, or have you?
Yeah, I had one running that was local, and then I had one that was nationwide, and the nationwide one was doing a lot better than the local one, just because there's obviously more people
Yeah, yeah.
to see it. But we was getting quite a few inquiries for our area as well.
Hmm.
I think we're like 30 kilometers within a certain postcode is what we had, something like
Yeah,
that. So, but you could be even more targeted if you wanted to.
yeah,
I guess we're kind of looking around Sheffield now, but you could look in the other areas as well, but it would
yeah.
be
I mean, like
best.
Sheffield, Leeds are not far away from each other, really,
Not
are they?
really.
So
But
Yeah.
how long did you do it for £35 a day for?
I did it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I've just turned them off recently because I don't really need to have them running right now, but had
Okay.
it running for 2 weeks and we was getting a good amount of leads. So that was just proof that it works basically
Mm.
mm.
for us.
Like, I was going to ask, we
Mhm.
seem to be struggling, like when we're getting in touch with landlords on Gumtree, like nobody seems to reply to us.
Yeah. So
It's good.
I know we had that brief chat about it before, but we said that are you sending the screenshot of your company's
Yeah,
house and you're sending your screenshot of
yeah,
your website as well?
yeah.
And are they open rent ads that are on Gumtree?
Some of them have been, so I've been then going on to Open Rent and just trying
Yeah.
to ask if I
Yeah,
can.
so we don't get a very good response rate from the open rent ads that are on Gumtree. It
Okay.
seems to just be open rent in general. I don't know if they have some sort of blockers in place where,
So do you then go on Open Rent and just ask to
yeah,
view
but
it as
again,
a?
it creates inconsistency because it's a different pitch when you go onto open rent, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
pitching as yourself, hi, I want to view the property, and then you've got to get screened and stuff. So we've kind of moved away from even looking at open rent that much now, just because I find I can do more volume on Gumtree and Facebook than that hour or hour and a half where I'm doing outreach. I find it to be more productive to just look on Gumtree and Facebook. But
What? So the Gumtree ones that have got the Open Rent ad, do you just ignore them?
I've tried, I've sent hundreds and it doesn't seem to really be getting much of a response. I think the
Yeah.
landlords that advertise on Open Rent only check the messages on Open Rent.
Right.
I
Okay.
don't think they bother looking on Gumtree unless they're really motivated. I've only had a few landlords get back to us from Open Rent ads on Gumtree. So I think maybe yeah, maybe ignore those ones
Hmm.
and just
And
stick to the
Facebook, I've
private.
been finding that there's quite a lot of like fake profiles on there.
Yeah, you're gonna get that just because it's Gumtree, isn't it? You get the
Yeah.
same on Facebook. It's quite hard to tell, but it's just a numbers game. You're gonna get one of those every 5 or 10. not really
Hmm.
much you can do really. You still have to
In
message and
Leeds,
try.
there seems to be loads in Leeds.
You've messaged.
Everybody I've gone to message, they all seem to be fake.
Well,
On
it's
the
really,
listings and they're listing loads of like stuff and they're apparently listing it for their auntie and all sorts of.
yeah, because there's some real naive people out there. Like you hear horror
That
stories
would have
about
been no,
people.
but that would have been me. I would have actually messaged him back because I am actually so naive. It's ridiculous, believe it or not. So Dom was like, "Do you think this is fraud?" And I was like, "I don't know. I trust everybody until I
Yeah,
know."
well, any landlord who's saying pay me a month rent and they've never
Oh no,
met
I
you
wouldn't have done
before.
that. They didn't do that, did they?
No, they were just
No.
saying,
It was that blatant.
but yeah, once I looked a little bit further into it and looked at their
Yeah, you peel
file,
back a couple layers and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell straight away, but it's just one of them things. Anywhere where that people are, they know that people are trying to get rent to rents and guarantee rent to landlords, they're going to try and find a way to do
Hmm.
some sort of scam, but it's just part of
Mm.
the game. But we just have to filter through those people. But I think we should concentrate mainly on this Sheffield one for now, and maybe like look at other ones in that area. So we maybe could build the business in and around that area
That's what
just to
I was
keep.
Yeah,
thinking
I
because
was thinking.
even for cleaners,
Yeah, yeah.
it's going to
Yeah,
be much easier to have
yeah,
someone
yeah.
set in
It's
that one area
yeah
for
for
now.
sure. It's more difficult when they're dotted around everywhere.
Yeah, they don't want to do it. And it's going to be
So
hard to.
knowing that postcode of this one, I would start looking like in and around sort of a mile radius of that.
Mm.
I still do
Seem to
think
be-
Leeds is a great place as well, though.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
I seem to be coming up like when I'm getting in touch with, like estate
Yeah,
agents, there are a lot of them are just saying that they don't do that. It's
yeah,
not
yeah. Fobbing
do.
you off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Don't
have
know
a
how to get
totally,
around that.
I have a different when I do outreach and ring up. I'm like, I have a totally different thing, and Dom's like, I don't get it. It's
they're
like,
scared. They're scared of you, Tash. That's why.
no,
Yeah.
I get on. I haven't done any for a while, obviously, because obviously I've been just like not had a chance.
Yeah, you had a baby and stuff.
When I was having a bit,
Yeah.
even sometimes you were sat with me, weren't you? And
Yeah.
I'd ring and I'd have a totally different.
Yeah, it
Totally different
really
guy.
does depend on who answers the call on the day. Like
Yeah,
it,
but I just think it is. I don't think you're
Mm.
saying anything. We say pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it really
Um,
does depend. Like you might get a junior lettings person who just wants their commission and they don't really care if you're a company, an individual. They just want to get the property rented so they can make their commission and get paid.
There is a lady who from Linley and Simpson who keeps sending us properties in Sheffield
Yeah,
every. So I need to reply. I need to message her again. But
yeah.
she's been sending a lot of like one beds.
oh,
But if you did it as an
Sheffield is
essay,
okay. Yeah, but
but if you did
SA
an
one
essay,
bed.
it might
Because
Yeah,
work.
in the lounge you could do
A
like
sofa bed.
the sofa bed like this one
Yeah,
has.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that would work
yeah.
yeah.
still.
And even in the bedroom, if it's big enough, you could have two singles,
Try to think of that lady who
and you
was
could have a sofa bed. You could say it sleeps
But
two, three people, whatever.
but it fell through. She was really nice. She was
that was
really
that
open
was
to company
Linley,
lets.
and that was number one properties, wasn't it?
The one
You
I've
will
used Leeds.
Yeah, that was number one
you will
property.
get people
What's
that get
in?
it, and you'll get people that don't. It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
But
But
I
yeah, at
think,
least there's a lady. Oh, I've been emailing, and she works for Linley and Simpson, but in the Sheffield
mm,
um thing. So it might be worth just messaging her
what
as
you got
well.
to remember as well is once you got this first one, it's going to become a lot easier because you can send over like any agent that's a little bit on the fence. You can say we're happy to send over an example of one of the properties
Yeah,
that we
that's
have in
what I
the
said to
area,
you, didn't I?
Yeah,
and
Because Dom,
it
I think you got frustrated at one point, didn't you?
yeah.
Thinking, how's this gonna even work? We're not getting
course, yeah,
anything.
yeah, that's normal to feel like that.
And I
Um,
said,
I'm
if
a
it
bit
was,
too impatient.
I am really impatient, but I just see it as if it was easy, then everybody'd be doing it. I mean, I know
yeah,
everybody's
and
doing it, but
that is what it is. I mean, everyone who's on YouTube looking at different rent to rent gurus on there and young kids calling up, wasting people's time and stuff. So
yeah,
you have to separate yourself from those people, and the best ways to do that is one to have proof that you're doing it, which we're about to have in a month's time,
yeah,
and
exactly.
two, like show that you're not a kid. You can go into an estate agent and have a chat and show them that you're a real person as well, because anyone can call up on the phone. They can't separate you from anyone else.
I tell them we've already got two successful businesses.
Yeah,
Dom's
yeah.
got her own
Yeah,
business, you
yeah,
know.
that too.
I've got
Should
my
be
own
really nice.
business, and
Yeah,
they've been going a while, and
yeah.
to build up some
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah, of
rapport.
course. In a minute, we are going to have our own first property, and you can make a nice little brochure of it and stuff, and have pictures of it when it's all done up nice, so you can show the level that you're sticking to, and that will help with trust as well. But I think to make the most of your time when you are doing prospecting, I think Obviously, agents is probably third down on the list of least resistance, like Gumtree landlords doing the ads as well. They're going to be warm to you
Yeah.
already, so you haven't got to
Yeah.
fight against anything. And sending the letters out as well is another way of
We
speaking
did
to
that, but
warm.
we've heard no back,
I
have we?
heard anything back yet,
How
no.
many did you send?
Quite a few. Was it like 300 and something?
Something, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a decent amount, but you might have to
I'll chase that with Tin.
yeah, I'll
Yes,
say five
she
five
did.
500's where you want to get to, so maybe
Just
send
before
another
I had the
couple.
baby, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes people just stick the letter on the fridge and call you when their tenants are leaving, similar to what this landlord's done now. So it is like a compound thing. They don't always message you straight away, but you're top of mind. It's something you should do maybe 4 times a year.
Okay, then. That sounds
So
easy.
yeah, people
So
will
when
get
would
back
you
to
say
you.
is next to do it now? It's summer,
Yeah, I'd say so. Coming up to summer or maybe just before.
maybe just before May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get Tin to do that again then.
But
Is the letter pretty much the same?
yeah, I think you want to maybe do it just before May because that's when
Yeah.
the renters reform bill comes in. So that's a lot of
Oh,
the copy on the letter is about that, isn't it? So you want to prompt a phone call from a landlord from them reading that, and if we go after May, then they might already know what the rights are with the renters reform bill and feel like it's too
right.
late. So maybe just before May would be a good time to send
Yeah.
another one.